Dune Lore, Episode 1, The Basics, General Terms and some of the main characters. Problem. Control of the spice mélange. The spice mélange, commonly referred to simply as the spice, was a naturally produced awareness-spectrum narcotic that formed the fundamental block of commerce and technological development in the known universe for millennia. It also played an important role in travel and cultural development. Since its discovery, several thousand years prior to the ascent of House Atreides, it was produced exclusively on the planet Arrakis. This was because the conditions on Arrakis by which melange was created were unique to the planet. Solution. Managing the mining of spice mélange. By the time House Atreides arrived on Arrakis, melange had become the single resource that was capable of creating or destroying the Empire. Consequently, Arrakis had gone from being a distant, poor, and unimportant desert world to a greatly prized fief, and management of the spice mining operations were considered a prestigious but difficult task. Spice collection was hindered both by the aggressive and territorial sandworms, and by the guerrilla tactics employed by the Fremen, who resented the presence of off-worlders, especially Imperial agents, who harvested the spice for themselves. Conflict. Betrayal of House Atreides. During consolidation of his rule over Arrakis, Leto made a quick and positive impact on the people of Dune. His fair-handedness, political savvy, and personal charisma saw many in Arrakeen society, from the Fremen to the aristocratic houses minor, become supporters. However, only a short while into Leto's rule on Dune, the Emperor gave Baron Vladimir Harkonnen approval to invade and destroy House Atreides, even going so far as to provide some of his own Sardaukar in support. The Emperor's urgency in disposing of House Atreides was amplified by the fact that he had come to know that the Duke Leto had managed to develop a small force of soldiers capable of rivaling the Emperor's Sardaukar. This had been accomplished through Leto's principal advisors and generals, namely Thufir Hawat, Duncan Idaho, and Gurney Halleck. During the invasion, Leto was betrayed by his private Suk doctor, Wellington Yueh, and turned over to the Harkonnens. Though Yueh had given Leto the chance to kill the Baron Harkonnen using a poisoned tooth embedded in the Duke's mouth, the scheme failed. Consequently, Leto died during the assassination attempt, but the Baron Harkonnen survived, although his twisted mentat Peter de Vries was killed by the poison. Leto came to symbolize all that was good about the Atreides bloodline, namely courage, integrity, loyalty, justice, and honor. Because of this, some have postulated that had Leto survived his rule of Arrakis, he would have eventually commanded the same fanaticism of the Fremen with which they came to follow his son Paul. Indeed, some have taken this argument further and postulated that his popularity with those he ruled, combined with his popularity in the Landsraad, may have seen him eventually ascend to the Golden Lion throne. Thus, the positive strength of character and many talents Leto was generally regarded to possess, and the possibilities of what might have been, illustrates the inherent tragedy of his story. Quotes. Notable mentions. A popular man arouses the jealousy of the powerful. Thufir Hawat. Polish comes from the cities, wisdom from the desert. A Rakeen villager saying. My father once told me that respect for the truth comes close to being the basis for all morality. Something cannot emerge from nothing, he said. This is profound thinking if you understand how unstable the truth can be. From Conversations with Muad'Dib by the Princess Ulan. One of the most terrible moments in a boy's life is when he discovers his father and mother are human beings who share a love that he can never quite taste. It's a loss, an awakening to the fact that the world is there and here and we are in it alone. The moment carries its own truth, you can't evade it. Paul to Jessica. There are problems in this universe for which there are no answers. Nothing can be done. Paul Muad'Dib, you should never be in the company of anyone with whom you would not want to die. Duncan Idaho recites an ancient Fremen saying, without change something sleeps inside of us, and seldom awakes. The sleeper must awaken. Duke Leto Atreides. House Corrino. Over the subsequent millennia, the Imperial House Corrino maintained a firm grip on the Empire. In an attempt to discredit House Atreides and retain their hegemony, the Imperial House Corrino under the leadership of Shaddam IV, devised a plan to dispose of their potential rival by ordering them to take over the planetary fief of Arrakis. Bene Gesserit. Traces of Mission Area Protectiva on Arrakis. The Bene Gesserit are a powerful and ancient order of women whose objectives and actions formed a critical element in the evolution of humanity and many of the major plot developments. The Fremen. Duke Leto Atreides sought to befriend the Fremen. To the Fremen, the fight for survival had long dominated their cultural identity. The brutal environment of Arrakis necessitated the frugal use of energy and resources, especially water. Additionally, their history with cultural persecution mandated the need for combat knowledge. These two aspects saw them emerge as efficient and hardy warriors, who used their skills and the environment of Arrakis to fend off off-world opponents who often possessed far superior technology and formal training. House Atreides. At year 10,190, 10,191 AG after Guild, House Atreides moves to Arrakis. At the request of Padishah Emperor Shaddam Corrino IV, Leto I moved the house to planet Arrakis, to take over mining operations of the spice melange from House Harkonnen. However, Leto I was walking into a trap set up by a newly formed alliance between House Harkonnen and House Corrino. House Harkonnen. Despite House Harkonnen's relative power prior to the end of the Corrino Empire, Vladimir Harkonnen desired the ultimate achievement of usurping the Corrinos and form the Harkonnen Empire. Thus, he secretly plotted against both House Atreides and House Corrino, hoping to destroy the former and overpower the latter through force and marriage. At the request of Padishah Emperor Shaddam Corrino IV, Leto I moved the house to planet Arrakis, to take over mining operations of the spice melange from House Harkonnen. However, Leto I was walking into a trap set up by a newly formed alliance between House Harkonnen and House Corrino. Summary. Brief overview. Set in the distant future amidst a feudal interstellar society in which noble houses, in control of individual planets, owe allegiance to the Padishah Emperor, Dune tells the story of young Paul Atreides, whose noble family accepts the stewardship of the desert planet Arrakis. As this planet is the only source of the spice melange, the most important and valuable substance in the universe, control of Arrakis is a coveted and dangerous undertaking. The story explores the multi-layered interactions of politics, religion, ecology, technology, and human emotion, as the forces of the Empire confront each other in a struggle for the control of Arrakis and its spice. Many more things can be endlessly explored within the Dune universe. And this is just a taste. If you have suggestions or would like specific topics covered, please leave a comment, like, share and subscribe. Until next time, the spice must flow.